All right, 2-4B. You already wrote this down, huh?
You got 11.
11 subscribers?
Make it 12.
Wow. Point slope form.
That's so nice.
Okay. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and let's talk about point slope form. So far you learned standard form and you learned slope intercept. Okay, and those are both good in their own different ways. The point slope form is really good, especially when you're not given the y-intercept, when you're just given a random point. Okay, so this is what point slope form is. Let's say that we have a point, and a specific point on the line is x1, y1. Okay, and m is still the slope. So point slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And that's it. It looks like a big mess. It might look a little more complicated than the other ones, but it's actually a really good form. It is. So do this. Can you do this? In your head, solve for m. Solve for m. M is being multiplied to this. Don't distribute. Just solve for m. Divide. What do you get? You get the formula for slope. This y minus a different y, x minus a different x. Isn't that cool? You solve for m? Makes sense, right? That's another formula that you were given this week. Okay, so here we go. Let's do some stuff with it. Very classic problems are given this and this. Find the equation of a line. Okay? And depending on what I give you or the book gives you or a quiz gives you, you have to decide which formula to use. So if I give you the slope and the y-intercept, why not use slope-intercept form? That's the best form to use. So now I'm going to give you a point that is not the y-intercept and a slope, and we're going to use this formula. So find an equation of a line given these two pieces of information. The line has a slope of 4, and it goes through the point to -3. And you're supposed to find the equation of the line given just those two pieces of information. Now, we just learned point slope, so you're assuming that we're going to use it, and you're right to assume that. But let's say that you get to decide whichever form you want. You want to use point slope form because there's a point and there's a slope. Okay? That's the information. All right, so let's plug it in. We're going to do y minus the y value of this point. Don't forget the y value is second in the coordinate, okay? So we're going to go y minus -3. What's a minus -3? Plus 3. Good. Equals slope, which is 4, x minus 2. And that's it. If they ask you for point slope form, you would leave your answer just like that. Now let's say that I change the problem, or I ask you for slope-intercept now. Okay? Slope-intercept form is actually pretty easy to find once you get to point slope form. You can take that and change it into slope-intercept form, and there's just 2 steps. First thing you're going to do is what? Starts with the D. Distribute. So first distribute 4x minus 8, and then one more step. Subtract 3. That's right. Y equals 4x minus 11. So these lines are exactly the same. They're just written in different forms. Like if I were to graph those on a grid, they would be exactly the same line. They're just written differently. It's like writing your name in like handwriting or writing it and printing it or cursive. It's still your same name, just written differently. Do you like writing in cursive? No. All right. Number 2. You want to try one now? Or not yet? You want me to do another one with you? Another one. Okay. Let's say now that our point is -5, 2. And the slope this time is 3/5. Ew. I gave it a fraction. Hey, is that a new cast? Oh, did you get it yesterday? Were you supposed to get it off, though? Yes. Ooh, I'm sorry. Okay, 2 more weeks. So no football for 2 more weeks.
I'd be so happy.
You still go to practice, though, right? Okay, here we go. Point slope. So let's put this into point slope form. So we're going to go y minus 2 equals 3/5 x plus 5, because it's a minus minus 5, so that makes it plus 5. And if I ask you to just leave it in point slope form, you would be done. If not, ooh, you're going to have to distribute and all that stuff, right? You want to do it? Me too. All right, so let's get this into slope-intercept form. Let's distribute the 3/5. It's actually going to turn out pretty nice. So we have 3/5 x, and what's 3/5 times 5? 3. That was fast. And then finally, add 2 to the other side. Y equals 3/5 x plus 5. That's it. Very good. All right, so now let's change it up. Instead of me giving you a slope and point, I'm just going to give you 2 points. Okay? Find the equation of the line given 2 points. 2 points. There's really just one extra step in this problem than what we've been doing. So here are the 2 points. 3/2 and 5/8. So we know that 2 points determine one specific line, and these are 2 points, and a line goes through them, and we're going to find the equation of that line. Okay? All right, so I don't have a point-point formula to use, darn. But I do have a point-slope formula, and if I have 2 points, I know how to find the slope, right? We did that a couple days ago. So let's start off by finding the slope. Let's find the slope of this line by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Do you remember that? It was a few days ago. So we're going to go 8 minus 2 over 5 minus 3. Now, be careful. People get, they get slope formula, they know how to do it, and then they mess up on the subtraction. That just drives me crazy. 8 minus 2 is 6, 5 minus 3 is 2, and so the slope is 3. Okay, now here comes the next part, and the next part's fun, because you know why? You have options. You never get options, right? I was like, this is how you do it each time. No, you have options here. You have a slope, and you have 2 points. Don't use them both, just choose, okay? All right, here we go. What would you like to choose? Me too, I was totally thinking that. All right, so we'll go y minus 2 equals 3, x minus 3, and that's it. And they want it in point slope form, and you're done. Okay? Do you need another one of those, or are you pretty good? Well, oh, okay. Well, all right then. He spoke for us all. He's good. Okay, then let's move on. Part B, last part of today. We're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. And you know these words, right? You learned them in maybe geometry, or maybe you learned them in real life. I know when I was learning how to drive, I learned how to parallel park, right? They don't make you do that anymore on a test, huh?
No.
It's crazy.
Never taught us.
Oh, really?
Or driving on the freeway. So.
Mr. DeBee taught me how to parallel park pretty good.
That's what my dad was like.
Yes, you do. Parallel park, you go right next to the curb, right? You're parallel. You're not like this. You're not touching the curb. You're parallel. Okay, so parallel and perpendicular. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this down the middle. We're going to talk about each. All right, so I'm going to draw 2 parallel lines. Parallel lines, they never meet. It's kind of sad. They will never, ever meet. They go on forever and ever, and they're never going to meet because they have the same slope. That's right. They have exactly the same slope. That's why they won't meet. If their slopes are off just a little bit, they will meet somewhere way down the ways. But they have the same slope. So if slope of line 1 is m1, it will equal the slope of line 2, which is m2. And that makes sense to you. Okay. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines meet at what degree angle? 90. Very good. Let me see if I can draw this better than I did earlier today. Ooh, that's pretty good. All right. 90-degree angle. Perpendicular lines. Now, perpendicular lines are obviously not the same slope. One's positive and one's negative, so we know they're opposites, but they're also opposite and You got it. Reciprocal. Okay? One's a little steeper than the other one. So they're opposite. Hello. And reciprocal. Is this my money? Yes. Sweet. Thank you. Bring more. Bring more. This is the money they're giving me for being the best teacher here. I'm so excited. I finally get rewarded for the things I do. Okay. Opposite reciprocals. That's on video. No wonder why my videos are trash. Your vids are trash. I love that. It just makes me smile. Okay. Slope 1 equals the opposite of 1 divided by slope 2. It's very complicated, huh? Yeah. Okay, so if we have parallel lines and one line has slope 5, the other one will have slope 5. That's easy, right? Same is easy. Okay, let's practice opposite reciprocal, though. Let's say the slope of the first line here going this way is 1/2. Then the slope of the second line is going to be the opposite of that and the reciprocal. So what would it be? Perfect, -2. Opposite, reciprocal. Reciprocal means you flip it, okay? So if my slope, M1, I hate that. Sorry, M1 is -3/4, then M2 would be, love it, 4/3. Good job. 4/3. Opposite means change the sign. And then reciprocal, flip upside down. Okay, so let's do some now, knowing those things. I know, right? What are we on? Look at, that's all we've learned today. I love that. Number 4. Number 4. Okay, here we go. We're going to write an equation. Write an equation of a line that is, does anyone know what that means, that symbol right there? Parallel. Because math people are really lazy and they don't like to write full words out. And we can't spell them either. So, all right. So write an equation of a line that is parallel to the line y equals 6x minus 2, but goes through the point 1, -3. Okay? 1, -3. So, here's the situation. You have a line y equals 6x minus 2. Okay? Your line goes through a totally different point, but it's going to be parallel to that line. So, if we know anything about parallel lines, which we just did, we learned that their slopes are the same. And so I have a slope, and I have a point on the line that I'm looking for. I can use point-slope form. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so y minus -3 is y plus 3 equals, what's the slope? 6x minus 1. That's it. Done. Nice, huh? Do you like these? Okay, number 5. Do you not hate them, though? That's better. Okay. All right, now we're going to do the same thing, but our line is going to be, do you know what that symbol is? Yeah, perpendicular. No one wants to write perpendicular out. Stupid. All right, perpendicular to y equals -4x plus 2/3. But it goes through the point, a point not on that line, a different point of 8,5. That's all we're given. We're given 2 pieces of information. Perpendicular to that line, but goes through that point. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use point-slope form. I'm going to go y minus 5 equals, and what's the slope? 1/4. Is that you again? Wow, you're doing really good. 1/4 x minus 8. Nice. Opposite of -4 is +4, and then reciprocal would be 1/4. Okay, last problem. All right, anybody want to study crickets when they get older? No? So random. Yeah? No? Okay, well, this is a cricket problem. Now, do you have crickets at your house?
Outside.
Yeah? Outside. Yeah, sometimes they end up inside, right? And it's very annoying in your walls. Have you ever had a cricket in your wall? I have. I actually moved out of my room into my sister's room because it was in the wall and it got stuck there. And I never went back. Okay, true story. All right, it says the number of times a cricket chirps, it's called a chirp. A cricket chirps per minute depends on what? I'm going to tell you what it depends on. I just thought you might know. Do you know what their cricket chirps depend on? The temperature. Yeah, how hot it is outside. Weird, right? What were you thinking?
I said how they're feeling.
That's so cute. Well, if they're feeling hot, then yeah. Depends on the temperature. Right? In the summer, you hear a lot more crickets than you do in the winter, right? Because they're all frozen and dead. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so the number of times a cricket chirps per minute depends on the temperature. So if it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside, then you're going to hear 0 chirps. Okay? And if it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit outside, then the cricket is going to chirp 240 times per minute. That's why they're so annoying. You just want to stomp them all out. Okay. Now, they're going to tell us which variable is which, okay? X is going to be the temperature in Fahrenheit, and Y is going to be the number of chirps in a minute. Chirps. And what we need to do is, there's a linear relationship between these two, and we're going to find the equation of the line so that if we want to find out if it's 60 degrees outside, we can just plug it into our equation, find out how many chirps the cricket's going to make. All right, so we're going to find an equation of the line. Now, with these word problems, which you're going to have some, and I gave you some extra ones because the book didn't have enough. They didn't have enough good ones, so I created some more. You're welcome. And that's on Canvas. You're going to find an equation of the line. You're going to take this information, you're going to put it into points, okay? Because they gave me 2 pieces of information. And those pieces of information that go together are going to be points on my line. They also told me that X is Fahrenheit, so make sure that whatever temperature goes first in your points, and then chirps would go second. So 40 degrees goes with 0, and 93 goes with 240. And now you can pretend like this is just a problem I gave you with bigger numbers than usual, and you have to find the equation of the line. So what's your first step? Starts with an M. Slope. Good. You're like, nope, slope. All right, 240 minus 0, 93 minus 40. All right, I'm going to tell you this turns out pretty ugly. Well, that's real life. Real life's ugly, right? And you can just round to 1 decimal place. It's fine. Don't leave it in a fraction because the fraction's really gross. All right, so we're going to go 240 divided by 93 minus 40, which is 4.5. We'll just say 4.5. I'm going to do some squiggly lines because it's not exactly equal to it. All right, 4.5 approximation, 4.5. Now, what that means, though, is 4.5 chirps per degree. Slope's always a rate, okay? Chirps over degrees. All right, so let's write our equation. So which point would you like to use? You get to choose. Me too? Yeah, let's use that one. So we're going to go y minus 0, which is just y, equals 4.5 times x minus 40. And that's an acceptable answer for the equation, okay? And then I'm going to do a follow-up question. What's the temperature outside right now? 78?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many, let's go with that. How many chirps would the cricket be making right now when it's 78 degrees outside? Okay. So let's plug it in. 78 goes in for what? X or Y? Which one's temperature? X is temperature. So y equals 4.5 times 78 minus 40. And we learned last chapter how to evaluate that. If you have the calculator, you can, put parentheses. You don't even have to do the subtraction in your head or anything. And it ends up being about We'll round to the nearest chirp. 172 chirps. I have a backyard full of them if you ever want to come over and see them, but you're not invited, so, okay. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to give that, let me pause this real quick. Yeah, here we go. So, I'm going to work on this with you, if you want to, okay? If you want to start your homework, you have too much to do, I mean, you can always watch this later, but you won't, so you should probably do it now. No offense. Alrighty. Did it start a new video? What happened to my old video? I might have to record again tomorrow. Oh well. Okay, here we go. Given the chart. Now, this quiz on Friday is on 2-1 all the way to 2-4. So it's on 4 lessons. It's a pretty hefty quiz. And you have to remember some stuff that we did, you know, last week. So given the chart, here's the values for x and values for y. And you have to decide what the domain and what the range is. So the domain are which values, x or y? X. Domain are x values. So our x values are -3, 5, 10, and 1. And if you want to put brackets around that, you can, or not. I'm not going to mark off for that. And then the range would be the y values. And the range, you don't have to list values that happen twice. You can only list them once is okay. 5, -3, and 20. Now here's the question. Does this represent a function? Is this a function? Yes, it is. And some people will say no because they'll see the repeated y value and they think, oh no, that's not right. Okay, y's can repeat. It's the x's that can't. Remember? This x is only mapping to 5. You don't see -3 mapping to anything else, or 5 or 10 or 1. All right, let's go over here. Number 2. We're given 2 functions, function f and function g, and we have to just evaluate them by plugging in a number into the correct function. So we need to find g of 0. You don't need to show work on this. It's fine, okay? So 0 goes into function g. It replaces x. And what you get is 0 squared plus 1, which is 1. And that's it. Okay? F of -3. -3 goes in, and you get 9 minus 5 equals 4. If you can do all that in your head, good for you. That's fine. Do you remember that one we had, though, that was like g of 1 plus f of 2? And that one was super confusing in the homework. Do you remember that? You weren't supposed to combine them. It felt like you were supposed to combine these functions. No, you're supposed to just do these separately and then add them together at the end. Do you remember that? Yeah. Good. All right. Do you want to do that or no? We're good? Let's try it. Let's just try it just for fun because it's really fun. All right. So if I wanted to find g of 1, I'd plug in 1. 1 squared is 1 plus 1 is 2. F of 2 is -6 minus 5 is -11. So 2 plus -11, the answer would be -9. All right, cool. Now number 3, what do we do when we are given a direct variation? We set up a, starts with the P, proportion. Good. You've got all the right answers. Look at you. Okay, so our proportion, what we usually do is we do y over x equals y over x and then cross multiply, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we'll go -2 over 10, because y is -2 when x is 10, equals, y is 24. I got to put the 24 up top, and I'm looking for what x is. And you could have had those both switched, but not one switched and the other one. That way, that would be wrong. Okay, then cross multiply. -2x equals 240, so x is -120. All right, so far, are you doing pretty good on this quiz? You're getting 100%? So-so? Maybe you will. Now, what does it say in bold right here? Memorize for quiz. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not going to give these equations to you. You need to know them. Make sure you know their names that they go with, okay? This is slope-intercept form. This guy's point-slope form. And this one's standard form. Look at, see standard form, how dumb it is? It doesn't have anything over here. Okay, so write the equation for the line in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So all 4 of these next problems, we want our end result to look like this, but that doesn't necessarily mean we start with that, okay? Depends on what we're given, but we want our end equation to look like that. So look at number 4. 4 is nice, right? If you get this one wrong, oh man, I'm so mad at you. Do it right. Slope is -2, y-intercept is -6. Put it right into slope-intercept form. Y equals -2x minus 6. Done. That's it. That's all you have to do. I know, right? You'll get that one right. And if you don't, there'll be like teardrops on your page and you'll know I've cried. Okay. Number 5, perpendicular. Now this one's a tougher one because you need to know perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. And they gave us the y-intercept again. They're very nice with that y-intercept. So what would the slope be of my line? Yes, 1/5. Opposite reciprocal. So y equals 1/5 x plus 2. Perfect. All right, so those first 2, not a lot of work to be done. You just have to think a little bit. The next ones you're going to have to work for. Okay, number 6. So many times people, they're doing these problems and they'll think, okay, 3 is the y-intercept because they see a 3. 3 is not the y-intercept in this problem. It can only be the y-intercept when x is 0. X is not 0, x is 5. Totally different. Even plot it. Plot that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Is that the y-intercept? No. But people will say it is. Drives me crazy. All right. So, I can't go straight to slope-intercept form. I have a point and I have a slope. Point slope. Oh, let's use the point slope form. So I'm going to go y minus 3 equals -4 x minus 5. Now that is the equation of the line, and now I need to get that into y equals mx plus b form. So this is just algebra, right? You got to distribute, add the 3 over. Let's do it. Y minus 3 equals -4x plus 20. Add 3 over. Y equals -4x plus 23. Nice. Okay, so don't just go straight to what you need. Go to whatever they give you. That's the form you want to use. Now, number 7, there's no such thing as a point form. There's point slope form. But if you're given 2 points like this, you can find the slope. So let's do that first. Let's find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. So we're going to go -7 minus -1 over -3 minus 6. Okay, so -7 minus a -1 is -6. And -3 minus 6 is what? -9. And so we get 2/3. 2/3 is a perfectly fine slope. So let's go ahead and use 1 point. Doesn't matter which point you use. I'm going to use the point 6, -1. And I'm going to put this into point slope form because those are the things I have. So I'm going to go y plus 1 equals 2/3 x minus 6. All right, so let's distribute. Y plus 1 equals 2/3 x. What's 2/3 times 6? Can you do that in your head? 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 times 2, 4. Okay, you need your calculator for that? That's all right, I guess. And then finally subtract 1 to the other side. So y equals 2/3 x minus 5. There you go. All right, those are tough. Those last 2 that we just did, those are tough. People will miss those. It'll be sad. Don't be one of them. And if you're really struggling on this stuff and it's not making much sense and it's really tough, come in. Okay, come in Friday morning. I'm here, 7:40. We'll also go over questions before the quiz. The quiz should take 20, 25 minutes. All right, number 8. Use the line with the equation 3x minus 6y equals 18. What form is that in? There's an S. Standard form. Good. We're going to rewrite this in slope-intercept form now. So we're going to take 3x minus 6y equals 18, and we want to solve for y. So let's subtract 3x first. Okay, subtract 3x. And what's our next step? Yep, divide everybody by negative 6, all of it. So we get y equals 1/2 x minus 3. So that answers part A. Once you have that answer, you can now really easily answer parts B and C. What's the y-intercept? Just look at it now. The y-intercept is? Good. And what's the slope? Perfect. Nice. Okay. Backside. And we're going to also have some graphing. I think you guys are pretty good at graphing, huh? You feel pretty confident in your graphing skills? I see some yeses. Note, kids are shaking their head yes. Okay, all right. So, number 9. It really depends on what form you're in. This is in slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and first graph the intercept. And please graph it on the right axes. This is a y-intercept. Where do you think it's going to go? The y-axis. That's right. So I'm going to go to -1 on the y-axis, and there it is. And from that point, that's my starting point, I'm going to count slope of 4/5. I'm going to rise 4, and then I'm going to run. Well, I usually walk, but I'm going to run 5. It should be rise over walk. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a point there and draw a nice straight line. Ew. That's pretty good. I really only run when someone's chasing me, but whatever. Okay, number 10. Graph this line. You want to try it? Yeah? Note, nobody said anything that time. You guys are quiet. Are you working on homework? You're not even doing this with me, are you? No? That's okay. You can watch it later. All right, we're going to go to 5 on the y-axis. And my slope is -3. I'm going to call that -3/1. So I like slope to be a fraction because it's rise over run. Now I'm going to rise -3, which means I'm going 1, 2, 3 down. You see how 1 is 1 positive or is it negative? It's positive, right? So I'm going to run to the right 1. Draw a nice straight line through that. Done. All right, oopsies. A couple more. Graph this line. We're going to graph it. And we're going to use the intercept method. So what you're going to do is you're going to cover up. Remember this from yesterday? We're going to cover up. So if we want the x-intercept, let's cover up the y. And when you cover up the y, you get 5x equals 10. So x is 2. When you cover up the x now to find what y is, you get -2y equals 10. So the y-intercept is -5. Now make sure you plot them on the right parts, okay? If x is 2, I'm going to go to the x-axis and plot 2. Y is -5. I go to the y-axis and plug in -5. I draw a line. That's ugly. It just keeps getting worse. All right, number 12. Same thing. You want to try this one? 2 of you? You want to try it? X-intercept, cover up the y. X equals 6. Y-intercept, cover up the x. Y equals 2. So I'm going to go to where x is 6. That's way over here. And y is 2. And draw a line. Go. Okay, now the next two are a little tricky. So you should really pay attention to this because it's on that quiz. I'm telling you. Graph the lines y equals -2. It should say just graph the line. Sorry, graph the lineal. Graph the line y equals -2. Now, y equals -2 and x equals 4.4. Those are very special lines. They're different than normal lines. Y equals -2 is a horizontal line through y is -2. Y can't be anything else but -2. So the slope of horizontal lines is what? 0. And where this line meets the y-axis is right there at -2. Okay, this one's very different. X equals 4.5 is a vertical line. Wow, I'm going to try that again. Is a vertical line through x equals 4.5. Oh, that's pretty good. There we go. Okay. And what is the slope of that line? It's undefined. So you could say no slope if you wanted to, or you could say undefined. Don't say 0. 0 is wrong. It does not have a slope of 0. It's a vertical line. It's not even a function. It has no slope, totally undefined. And guess what else it doesn't have? It doesn't have a y-intercept either. Okay? See the y-axis? See your line? Do they intersect anywhere? No. Don't say 0. Say none. Y-intercept, none. All right, and here comes the last one. There are 174 words typed in 3 minutes, and there were 348 words typed in 6 minutes. Let x equal the time in minutes and y equal the number of words. Write a linear equation in slope-intercept form to represent the situation. All right, so x is time. I'm going to write some points out. 3 minutes is goes with 174 words. 6 minutes went with 348 words. Those are my 2 points. Okay? First, I'm going to find the slope. Slope is 348 minus 174 over 6 minus 3. I did this one earlier. What was it? 74 divided by 3. 58. 58. That is a slope. Slope is slope is a rate. That would be 58 words per minute. Are you better than that? No? No? 58 words per minute? You're out there typing? Do you guys know how to type? Yeah. You know how to type with your thumbs really well, huh? From texting? All right, so let's put this into point-slope form. So here's a point, and here's my slope. I'm going to go y minus 174 equals 58 times x minus 3. And they asked for this in slope-intercept form. So we need to distribute. We get y minus 174 equals 58x minus 174. And when you add 174 over, guess what you get? Y equals 58x. Okay? And that should make sense. It's 58 words per minute. So if I'm going to do this for 9 minutes, how many words am I going to type? 58 times 9? 58 times 9. What is that? Bless you. 522. Now don't forget, if it's a word problem, has to have a word answer. 522 what? Peanuts? Bad kids in my class? I don't know. What is it? Words? Words. Okay? All right.